Hey, is this thing on? Can y'all hear me out there? Let me know there, Jason Earl in the chat. Can you hear me good? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9. All right, guys. Well, I got some stuff I got to get done to come up right here real quick. So Dungeon's going to take over the podcast for me, and I happen to have a person that is going to be asking him some questions. He's new to the scene. He's never been, in RCs before, and he's right now he's hiding in a undisclosed location because he has got the Facebook meanies after him in the Facebook groups. So this dude is scared to death, and he's just trying to figure out how to find information on YouTube or in Facebook and find ways to get stuff to where people, aren't so hateful to it, because the new guys ask questions. They don't understand to go into the group. They don't understand to go look at the said post that they're trying to find this information first before they ask. I know this for 100% fact. You can ask anybody on this chat that's in the chat or here on the screen, because I've asked everybody instead of just trying to look it up, but I've learned to look it up afterwards. So Dungeon's going to try to help him out and see what he can do for him. So give me a minute so I can get him switched over, and then I'll let you all have fun, and I'll get out of here and take care of shit that I got to take care of. So peace out, Girl Scouts. Give me just a minute, and we'll get him switched over to you.
All right, a newbie. See if we can get this newbie started off right and be friendly. Get him pointed in the right direction and help him out, guys.
Should be so far to help him out. Everybody's saying, "What's up?"
What is up?
Let's see, we got RC Homesteaders in the house. Father, Son, Wood and Metal. Sabrina, Jason Earl, DJ Bopper, also, and John's Mini Mechanics is in the house.
Oh, what's up, John? Hey, man, what's up? He's pretty cool, dude.
I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Everybody, I want you all to meet the reason that I'm able to do YouTube. He's in the chat. He's some guy there with the name of DJ Bopper or something or other. I don't know what his actually name is on YouTube. He's just some crazy daggone West Virginia hillbilly like me and Dungeon. But that's my brother from another mother. He's actually the best DJ I know, one of the best friends I know I have. He's the reason that we're able to do some of the stuff that we're able to do on this channel. And I want to give him a great big shout out. Plus, guys, y'all check out his YouTube page. And if y'all do ever need anybody to do a DJ session for you all for weddings, anything, make sure you go hit him up because we do travel. We have to worry about talking expenses later. But give him a shout out to there. And I want to give a shout out to Wild Carl's RC. Man, if y'all look on the channel, I posted some of the stuff he sent me today. He sent me a bunch of cool scale stuff, Dungeon. It is awesome. And I think I figured out. I think I got it figured out to what I'm doing. So give me just a second, and we'll get this RC Newfolk guy in here and see what's going on with him, man.
He's see if we can give him a hand, give him a helping hand.
Dude, I mean, this dude's in an undisclosed location. I mean, he's got his daggone AR with him. He's got a mask. I mean, this dude is. He's scared the way these people was treating him, man. I'm telling you. I mean,
hey, I get it.
They
can be downright evil sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, mean. We'll see what we can do, guys. Give me just a second. Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, man, what's going on? I'm on the run, man. The daggone Facebook group meanies are after me, dude. I got my protection with me, and man, I didn't know that daggone people was so bad. Whenever I'm just trying to find out a little bit of information, I just got started in this daggone hobby, man, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I ain't never played with no daggone old tiny trucks before, except for, back in my day, whenever I was young, you had that one that had the 3 buttons on it and the little wire that went to the truck, and you push a button, it'd go forward, and then you push a button, it'd turn backwards and go left or something or other,
I don't know what the heck any of this stuff's about. And I got into, one of them Facebook groups or on YouTube and started asking questions, because that's the only way I knew how to do it, and I get these guys just acting like, I don't know, man, like they're better than everybody else, and I'm stupid because I don't have the information that I'm asking for. Well, the thing is, I'm ignorant of the information. I'm not stupid, because ignorance is a lack of information. Stupid is having the information and doing otherwise, right? I mean, does that make
Exactly.
sense to you? You're in RC Dungeon, right?
That's right. Yep.
Wow, you got a weird accent. Where are you from?
I'm from West Virginia.
I can hear it now. You sound like WV, man. That dude's crazy as hell, man. He hit me up there, one of these groups took up for me a little bit because them guys was just being assholes, and he's explained to me a little bit of stuff, on how to be able not to get your head bit off whenever you're out there in the Facebook landia, And I like the way he talks too, man. He's got some pretty good old words like redneck engineering, Facebook landia, and peace out, Girl Scout, But what I'm trying to do, Dungeon, is I've got me an SCX 10.3, and I want to be able to go up vertical hills and stuff with it better, because I take this thing up, 45 maybe degree incline, 12 on 12 pitch like you was doing a roof, and this thing wants to flip flop backwards all over itself. What can I do to fix it?
Well, first off, I would recommend to anybody that, especially that's starting out new, if no matter what brand you're buying, if you're primarily just wanting to be part of a Facebook group, most of those Facebook groups do have a search bar inside on the top.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't even see that, man. If you can't tell, I'm pretty old. I'm not real into this new technological
I feel that pain.
stuff,
Oh, and I'm not a technical guy, not even a little bit. That's I've done this for a long time.
I'm amazed they had daggone the internet in them West Virginia hollers. Well, they pipe the sun into where y'all get be able to see during the day, don't they?
Oh yeah, they pipe the internet in too.
Really? Huh. I didn't know, man. I didn't even know y'all even had indoor plumbing and stuff.
Just got it last week.
Did you? Oh man, that's awesome, man. I'm telling you what, being able to take a shower inside the house, you ain't got to go out and damn cold to go take you a poop in the morning or nothing,
Yeah, it sure beats carrying in those buckets of water.
Heating them up on the wood burner stove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to do that.
Hey, I've been there too, brother. It's just, I did mine out there in the daggone hills of Arkansas, man. There's this one guy on YouTube. I think his name's RC Homesteader. He's from out around in here in the Midwest somewhere. I don't know. But man, that dude right there, he's got this daggone old Jeep that thinks it can do break dancing. And I'll tell you what now, old P-Max is going to give him run for his money one day, I think. I've been watching this stuff that WB's been messing with the homesteaders about, and I don't know, man. He said, I'm a little partial to P-Max there, but old boy Jeep can do some moves, man,
I'll have to check that out myself.
Yeah, you'll have to check that out. But
sometimes I'm a little behind on the times.
Well, I guess we're all busy nowadays, But so getting back to my SCX10, how am I going to be able to get that thing to go better uphill?
Well, there's a lot of things you can look at. Just brass upgrades, some different wheels, different tires, the balance of the vehicle. A lot of it has to do with
the balance of the vehicle. What do you mean? They got to be able to stand up on their toes and do a pirouette like a ballerina, or
like a lot of guys kind of. There's a thing called they like the golden rule of the 60-40. So 60% forward weight bias.
Okay, so you want to be 60 pounds heavier than the 40-pound old lady. What's that mean?
No, I wouldn't say pounds. It's just a percentage of you want more of a 60% of your weight bias towards the front of the vehicle.
Okay. I thought they liked the front more than they did the back. Some people are like that.
Yeah, some more.
Well, okay, I understand what you're saying, man. See, now, why couldn't somebody just have answered my question like that, in the Facebook group instead of, well, you upgraded, you dumbass. I mean, God, man, And
Yep,
me being,
primarily that's what you see in
not here
any
in
group.
rural Arkansas, man, they ain't, the stuff's tight, and everybody ain't got no heck of a lot of money, so I want to try to figure out ways to, do stuff myself. Is there ways to do that 60/40 that you're talking about, like, without having to buy a bunch of shit?
Well, yeah, a frugal way of doing it. We used to take back in the day. We had some tire shops local, and they would take off the stick-on mag wheel weights.
Oh, yeah. The kind that just stick on the inside of the wheel, or on the. Okay.
Yep, yep. And we used to add a little bit of weight, extra weight to the front, a little bit to the back. That was kind of I called it. This was before any of the brass stuff was invented, and
Brass. Well, they got running water in their daggone RC cars.
Well, the times now, a lot of people don't realize how well they have it made with what they have at their purchasing pleasure. So,
Right. Okay.
Us old guys used to have to come up with ways of figuring that stuff out on our own.
Right. I mean, how long you been in the hobby?
Forever, 35 plus years.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they didn't have like this type of stuff. Well, so I'm about your age, probably. I'd say. So they didn't have new stuff like this. Like crawlers weren't nothing. I mean, we had the Midnight Pumpkin or buggy wise, use grasshopper or something, or the old lunchbox. We didn't have any crawlers that would, do this stuff like going up side of a daggone rock face, just straight up,
Yeah, people don't realize how well they got it made especially in the crawler community with what they have at their, basically purchasing finger. You're just going online and you just basically can pick out what you want. Back to the fact of, like you were saying, getting to climb better, steeper inclines. There's also better ways of tuning your suspension to get away from just not adding weight. So. There's way of there's a lot of different people's opinions on that. So
yeah, I've heard that you can use the daggone link riser in the rear on your vehicles. It ain't worth a shit. That's just a bunch of doohickeys, what I've been told. I think it looks cool anyway, and it seems to me like it should work.
For some, for me personally, yeah, it's worked. I still run them. That's the problem. Another issue you'll get in the RC community is,
get a million different answers.
You're going to get a billion different, and they may not all be. Some things work for different models differently than they work for other models. I guess if that makes any sense to you,
right? Yeah, that makes sense because I got one of these Everest 10s, and man, I mean, this thing it's flexy as heck. But I mean, you take it to go uphill and it rolls over on its back like a turtle. I mean, I guess the frame suspension makes the geometry different, and that's what is causing the issue. Okay.
Sometimes limiting your suspension on vehicles like that, like the Red Cat Gen 8. I don't know if you're familiar with the Red Cat Gen 8.
I've got the Everest 10 just because it was something that I was able to come across that was decent for the budget, and it was a good sized truck. It seemed like it ran good, and it was real flexy. I mean, I can almost put her daggone legs behind her head. So, I've always liked it. I always liked that in other situations. So, I mean, I figured it'd be good in crawling. Is that not the case?
Not always the case. No, sometimes dropping the tire down in the hole creates a whole nother situation than carrying the tire a little bit over the hole.
There's been a few holes I've fell in before.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Jim's RC and Bikes coming through with a good little free thing. Wrap your front tires in copper wire.
Oh, who's this? Is there a ghost? I thought we was the only two people here.
No, don't worry. There's nobody from Facebook.
Alex, yeah, Alex. That's that dude me was telling me about. Sorry about that, man. You scared the hell out of him.
You're good.
He's going to start running scared, guys. We can't scare him too much.
About me. Sorry, bud. Go ahead. What was that, Alex? What did you say?
I was just saying you're good.
Oh, okay. But you said something about Jim Bicycle RC or something?
Jim's RC and Bikes came through with a good little free tip about wrapping your front wheels with copper wire. Help with the weight up front.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I know
Yep.
that when you're putting wheel weights on, say, a regular sized car, I don't know what y'all call it, but regular people car, not no tiny truck. I know that you want that tire to be balanced, and if you don't have that balance right, it's going to make that tire flop. Now, is that going to hurt me like on an RC crawler or something? Or
I mean, if most of the time wheel speed, if you've got something really powerful in there and you got some wheel speed, you got to be careful. But primarily with crawlers, you do want to keep, you don't want 10 ounces and 10 ounces, or
right?
5 ounces and 5 ounces. You want to keep it, pretty much equal all the way around. So, it
Okay.
depends on what you're looking for weight wise, but I usually try to stagger the weights, 2 here and then 2 here if you're doing it the old school way. And then
Now,
a little bit of black tape around your ring on those wheel weights, you know what I mean, to keep them from moving around. Also, that
now
that wire is a very good trick too. We've done
that does
that
sound like it would be good.
times. You can get actual lead wrap weight too, as well, which isn't lead anymore, but it's an
Hey,
actual.
I wonder if them ones for like a Pinewood Derby car would work because they were
Yes.
segmented, and it seemed like you could just they got that sticky glue on the back of them, like you just wrap it around the inside of the wire. I wonder if that'd work.
I mean, primarily what I've always done is a little bit of hot melt glue, and then you've got
Hey, I heard that
burn.
hot glue loves you is what that WB Redneck always says. I remember watching his videos and seeing that. Hot glue loves you. And he explained that
It
to me
really
about
it's a multitask tool.
Yeah, well, he explained that to me about the reason he's got that little catchphrase there is because he had a situation in a group to where he had asked a question whenever he was new, and these guys was giving him shit about having hot glue all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, to me, he had a pretty good answer for the reason that he has it because, he didn't know nothing about the truck. So he's just throwing shit at the wall, trying to get it to work and didn't want to permanently damage his rig, by trying something that wasn't going to work. So,
well,
that seems like
listen,
right.
one of the things I've noticed in the groups is if you're the kind of person that kind of thinks outside of the box, a lot of times that nail that sticks up is the one that gets hammered, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because if it's sticking up, I usually hit it with my toe and I hammer it some bitch down in there after cussing. Yeah. So, all right. So, I mean, so I guess what basically you're saying, with the truck is that I need to weight a little bit more front and lower down instead of like tying a 5-ounce surf fishing sinker to my bumper.
Well, yeah, you want to keep the weight down as low as you possibly can. That's why a lot of people go to knuckle weights and brass C hubs and brass differential covers and
Okay, so that's down
brass
low.
portal
Okay.
covers and stuff like that. I try to tune the suspension before I do. Tune suspension will actually make a world of difference, to be honest with you, versus just adding a bunch of weight too. So
now there was something I heard somebody say something about having limiting straps because you have an unload problem. Usually, the only time I have an unload problem is whenever I'm about ready to get hit by a deer or by a car or something. Unload whatever the hell I had in my pants. But
I think
what's
that's a different kind of problem
unloading?
than suspension unloading, though.
Right. Well, I bet the way it sounds, I probably would unload my pants if the suspension overloaded and I went flop, flop, flop down the, if I was in that son of a gun.
Yeah, I don't, there is, your suspension will, and different makes and models. They, like I said, they all work differently. That's the problem you run into. Everybody tries to apply the same, characteristics or, changes to each vehicle is actually, I know it might sound weird, but they are different. I mean, that's why I always recommend to everybody.
You wouldn't take it on Lincoln Continental 4-wheeling, and you also wouldn't take old 60 model 1-ton Ford out on the cruise to take your old lady to the nice store, the nice something to eat in the movie or nothing, I mean, I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, you really what it goes a long ways is just honestly, I tell everybody before you start throwing upgrades on anything, take it out and drive it and enjoy it and see how it does before you decide to just buy hundreds of dollars worth of parts and throw on it because you'd be surprised what makes a difference.
It seems like it would be a pretty expensive hobby to be in with all the stuff I see out there for aftermarket. That's the reason I was asking about, like DIY mods and if it's able to be done and stuff, because the way times are, heck, the last 4 years has run us damn into the ground, I mean,
Yep.
ain't nobody making any kind of money anymore, except for the daggone warmongers, the ones that all got all the defensive contracts, all this stuff going on in the world, but
Yep,
well, I'll tell you
time.
what, man, I really appreciated that. I will have to subscribe to your channel because you seem like a pretty laid back fella, a little bit more laid back than that crazy redneck dude.
Oh, he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he seems like he is, man. I don't know. He's a little sketchy sometimes. He talks to himself a little bit.
I think we all do, don't we?
Yeah, but I mean, he thinks he's daggone dog steals his tools and he's daggone RC car parts and stuff. I mean, dude's a little weird. But thank you, man. And so there's gonna be a series or something going on here with this RC Newfolk podcast thing.
I do believe there is going to be a new series.
I mean, he gonna interview more people, or is it just gonna be like you and him sitting there talking? Because I'll tell you what, I'd like to see old Joe Exo Cage get on here and give a little bit of his information. I've watched him a little bit, and
very informative guy.
There's this crazy guy from Texas, Oklahoma. Oh shoot, he's named Jerry or maybe Josh. Yeah, Texas RC. That's it. I'd like to see him get on there too. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll have to get with the West Virginia Redneck, and we'll have to make a list of some guys and try to get them on the show.
Well, I'll tell you, man, write those names down there because they'd be some good ones to get. And there's this one guy that I've been seeing in the 24 scale groups that, man, he makes some badass scale stuff, but it's like 18th and 24 scale bodies. EX Lewis Designs, I think, is what it is.
Yeah.
I ought to get him on there, and see how he makes that stuff. Just let people, get in on how the stuff's done and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to learn
I know something on the 24 scale stuff too. They need to get that fella Nick Ash or something from Mofo RC, man, because those guys, they helped me out. I did try one more rig one time, and this was probably right at a year ago. Whenever I had a little bit of money to dispose of, and I had a problem. I didn't understand what I was doing whenever I was putting the motor on the transmission gear, and I made a gear look like a knob, let's just say. And I talked to old Nick over there, man. I don't know what he does for him. He seems like he's a pretty cool dude. You get past that mustache, and he really helped me out. He had real good customer service. Even though it was my fault, I was the one that screwed the part up. He sent me another one and explained to me how to do it, and even sent me a cool little different kind of motor mount that had slots in it to where you could actually get it in there good instead of just them old little holes, and explained how to do it, and even answered me back whenever I sent him a video of how I had it done and told me if I had it right or not. And he said, "You go stick with me, kid. You'll go places." I said, "Yeah." I said, "With me though, it's either State Penn or Penn State. We ain't figured out which one. It's always fun to, figure it out." But I'll tell you what, man, I'm gonna get off here.
This hobby, though, there is a lot of good people in the hobby. Sometimes, I tell people, don't let primarily Facebook's not. I don't think it should be everybody's main go-to. Honestly,
Right,
YouTube search,
social media, and it's everybody getting together for the same type of thing. So you would think that you would be able to go there and ask questions. But I guess I do see where people could get a little bit agitated with people coming in and asking the same question. Probably guys in these groups are probably seeing this stuff coming, every day, 2 or 3 different times for the same damn question. They really ought to make a group just for RC new guys that would have something like, in the pinned comments or whatever that you have to agree to whenever you're coming into the group, to where it's got people that's taking all the questions that they're hearing all the time,
right,
and putting it like into a video. Like, hey, I know how you can do it. When you're doing your podcast, say like, you know, well, you've been interviewed by WV, so he would give you a question that somebody asked, like the one that I asked you, you know, how do I get my crawler from being a turtle, you know, and maybe you
Right.
could do a video and be part of that group and then just post that video link into that group. And with it being said, you know, they're coming into the group to be a new person to the group. They have to answer the questions, yes or no, or whatever. So you're able to tell them, say, hey, look, before you go on here and start asking newbie questions and getting yelled at by everybody's been in the hobby for a while and be treated, you know, badly, why don't you take this, go through it. If there's questions in there that aren't answered, then yes, do ask, please. And when you do, make sure that we understand that this is a new question we need to add to our list. Wonder if that'd be something somebody could do.
I mean, I'm not sure about when it comes to. It used to be back in the old days when I used to help run the actual forums. We had things called stickies, and you could add it. It was like a sticky, like a post-it note. When you pulled up in,
Yeah. There's a note app on most phones that, you know, stuff. Okay, yeah.
but I don't know how that. I don't know how that would work in Facebook groups. I mean, there's probably a way of doing it. Maybe I'm not technical savvy enough with all that.
That might be something I need to talk to WV about. See what he thinks.
Yeah, maybe
Sort of, you know, hook the podcast to the group and all. That way, it's all right there, and it can get the word out for new people to maybe learn some stuff and help people. Because I'll tell you what, you know, I'm the type of guy. I'm sort of like WV. You know, you're going to be a dick to me, I'll turn right back and show you what the big dick looks like. You know what I mean? But
Yep,
I'm like this guy in the world, and I just asked for questions because I didn't know. You know, I was ignorant of the information I was looking for. I'd never been told before. You know, so
well, first off, people, you know, the whole reason for those groups. I understand if they get tired of seeing the same questions asked all the time, but the whole reason primarily for that group is to help people out. So even if you see it 150 times a day, there's no reason for anybody to get on any of those single groups and just single out being an asshole like that.
Right. You know, just because there's something bad in your life, don't have to bring somebody else down to make you feel better, you know?
Right. There's just no reason for that.
That's the way I was feeling, you know, that's the vibe I was getting. And I was just about to say hell with it and just, you know.
Yeah, I've let groups I've started for that reason. Just couldn't get along, unfortunately, because no matter what, it's hard to filter out that kind of that stuff just happens in Facebook. It's social media.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, that's the good thing about this country, at least the way that it used to be before the last 4 years or so. You have a right to have your own opinion, and you have a right to give somebody else your opinion, whether they like it or not. But there's also a thing called being courteous and kind. I think it was one of them rules that you learned in that school that you went to on preaching time preaching day on Sunday school. Yeah. Isn't that what they taught you? Is be kind to others and stuff, or do unto them as you be done unto you.
Yep.
Or I give you all the seed bearing plants and herbs for you to use as meat or something.
I always say Facebook made way too many people entirely too comfortable with being an asshole without getting punched in the mouth. That's just Facebook is the king of that.
Yeah, man. Because back in my day, we had a problem with somebody, we deal with it.
Wouldn't talk to you like that in real life because they know they'd be spitting out teeth onto the ground.
Well, yeah, see, that's what I like about you daggone hillbillies out there in the daggone them Appalachian Mountains, man. Y'all's like us, man. You know, I'm telling you, I guess you're right. Daggone interweb has got people so used to not getting the hell knocked out of them for running their damn mouth, but they get keyboard warriors, right?
That's what I always call them. Always made me feel like an old guy because that's an old saying, but that's what I always call them.
Well, like I said, I'm an old guy too, so you know I'm analog in I guess it's quantum world now because we're not even digital anymore. They're quantum computers that I don't know.
I'm doing good to operate the phone.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I think they're outside.
I hope not.
I got to get out of here, man. I got to get out of here. I don't want to I don't want these new guys
groupies
commenting. I
get
don't
you?
want to make people leak because they're stupid. You know what I mean? All right,
Yeah,
man. I'm
stay
gonna
away
get
from
out of
the
here.
groupies.
Y'all be good, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, hopefully we got our RC newbie helped out with his 10.3 that he had there. Thanks to whoever was in the group chat there with the chimed in with the wire idea. That's actually very helpful information for anybody that's watching the podcast to have that come around, because I remember back in the day we used to do that and then wrap it with the electrical tape or the self-immobilizing, I think is what they called that tape, to hold it tight. That's a kind of I call it the poor man's wheel weight mods back in the day. Hey, he's back. No audio. Can't
No
hear you.
audio.
There we go. Nope. Can't hear you, brother.
Yeah, I don't think he can hear us either.
I don't think he can either.
Hey, you know what you got to do whenever you sit there talking? You got to turn off the unmute button. What I was saying was, man, I done seen these crazy sons of bitches done trying to get a hold of that daggone RC Newfolk feller. It was them Facebook meanies, man. By God, me and Regina
Man,
took
they're
care of them.
groupies, bro. They'll get you.
Sunday. All you seen was asshole and elbows going down through there whenever old Regina lit up. Son, I ain't a foul, boy. Don't fuck with nobody around me, boy. You don't want that. You gonna get the smoke. Y'all get him took care of. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, dude, because he was asshole and elbows too, going the opposite way them old boys was, son. I mean, that, you ever seen the daggone little old skinny Arkansas hillbilly run? They run faster than us.
I call it the hillbilly shuffle.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you what, Dungeon, us, one leg shorter than the other hillbillies, we get a little bit of disadvantage out there on the flat ground like he does. Huh?
I put cardboard in my boot to fix that problem.
There you go. All right, guys. That was a little skit, that we did. It's just, that's the reason that we're doing this podcast, is for the new people of the RC community. And if it wasn't for Dungeon, Alex, Skevy Skev, Rock Wolf Jim, James RC Garage, Jason Beard. In fact, I need that beard sticker for my hood, sir. And if it wasn't for people like DJ Bopper as well, backing me up like this, like all y'all have, and support me, I wouldn't be able to do it. I hit 206 subscribers today. In June, whenever I started this channel, I had one, my brother Andrew Plants. I had two. I had Bopper after that. Matter of fact, whenever I just said I was going to start a YouTube channel, Andrew just said, "Here, I'm going to be your first one," and did it. And then I started telling Bopper about it. Of course, my brother, he did it right there too. And
I can't remember
he's also the reason for the cool voice the distortion device and the cool lighting and the good mic and stuff. Thank you, brother. Merry Christmas. Love you for it. And but that's the reason we're doing. Me and Dungeon started talking about doing this, is to help people out. Yeah, I'm doing it for likes and stuff for the channel too, but I'm also doing it because I was that new guy, and everybody I just mentioned can sure as hell tell you that I was that one going, "Hey man, how do I do this? Hey, I need to," because I didn't know. But in my case, I'm super analog and not good with this click stuff, and so I didn't know how to deal in the groups to go, look at the pin post or search what I was trying to figure out. And thank God for Skevy Skev and James and them boys, because they brought me under their wings, and through their tutelage and help, I've been able to learn how to do stuff.
I kind of miss the days of, like, I don't know, a lot of people, anybody watching, the old days of the actual forums that we had online.
Now, see, Bopper, he's old like you. I am a little bit younger than you. You can tell, But Bopper, he's been in the online community forever. And I think he was even, I'm serious about this, back whenever the AOL was coming out and they had them message boards and shit, you know, the old
No,
school.
yeah, that's when
You
I
still
was
had
in it. Yeah.
every dial up, you know.
Yep.
And that was the time where I wished I would have stayed into the tech stuff and been able to, or well, I wish I would have. I wish I would have worried more about technology than women. You know, them intakes. I like them intakes. I like my kickstanding intake. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot to say that. I meant to clarify that too. Whenever I said that about Bopper, he still has his original AOL email address.
Wow.
You
I know a few
yeah,
people
that's
that
how
do,
old he
believe it
is.
or not.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, Hector. You misinformed. You old like that too? Daggone, Hector. I hear you, buddy. I didn't think you was that old. But RC Dungeon, you know Hector there. He's in a bunch of our groups. He's got that new channel that he started where it's him and his
Have a
son
good one, Earl.
and down by the river. You know what I mean? What's that?
Somebody said
Jason
something.
Earl's cutting out for the night, so I'll tell him have a good one.
Neck bastard. He's probably needs some sleep. He's old. And he's ugly too, so he needs the most beauty sleep he can get.
Not everybody can
Dungeon, you'd like him, man. He's from in Piney thickets up there in New Jersey. And them old boys get along with us rednecks, you know, because they've had
the Jersey Devil area?
Yeah, oh yeah. Wonder where that Jersey Devil come from. Didn't it come from right up there close to about where you're at? Flatwoods, West Virginia, maybe Point Pleasant, Mothman.
They got the Mothman.
Well, I mean, you know, the Jersey Devil and Mothman were getting confused as being the same one there for the longest time. You know, flying around with glowing eyes and stuff. But guys, that's what the podcast is here for, is just to help people learn who all these YouTubers are that are giving them their information. And that way they can take the information they're getting with a grain of salt, you know, if they want to, or if they can believe it just like it's the Bible. You know, it's to let people know who they're getting their information from, where they can judge for themselves if the information's any good or not, you know. And the reason I was talking about that Facebook group a little bit, you've talked about it, Dungeon. I've been weighing it over, and you've given me some good rebuttals on why it would be a pain in the ass and why not. So just trying to throw that out there to get the
if you have
input on
enough people that's willing to, that has the time to, you know, I started the 304 group kind of in that aspect, the 304 RC group.
That's where I got F and G from, which is now give his parts to his little sister Rust Bucket. Yeah, from Bran.
Right.
Stevens. Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah, Steven's 304 RC.
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel, y'all too. Him and his boy does.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of starting that was we were trying to stay primarily with local stuff, but then the Facebook group stuff affects, like, I had some of the other YouTube channels that were a lot bigger than mine, like RC Jono and some other ones. They came to me, and you know, I kind of wanted, because they were having problems in Facebook groups as well, and we're talking about guys, veterans in the hobby too. You know, just trying to ask or answer questions to help people out. You know, and people don't like what you say. You know, so you run into the same problem. You know, even guys that actually have the experience know a lot of times you won't get that help in the groups. Like, you know, I always try to read through most of the group stuff, and then I'll send PMs to people.
That's what I've ended up doing mostly.
Yeah, because you just can't get on those, man, and because people it's like instantly. You know what I mean? You can't.
There's a lot of times that I see one of those smart asses get in a group that don't really know exactly what they're talking about. And I put them on blast right then and there. And the thing is, they're usually not smart enough to know that I'm putting them in a situation that they're making an ass out of themselves with, you know?
Well, I mean,
it's fun
no
to me
matter how long you're in
sometimes.
the hobby, man, you're always learning. That's just that's how the hobby is, because
get a new wrinkle in the squishy stuff between your ears every day, and you'll never be dumb.
Yeah. And I mean, just because something works for somebody doesn't mean what I've learned it'll work for somebody else. And just because it didn't work for you and it worked for the other person doesn't mean that it's wrong either. And a lot of people can't see it that way.
So, Brady, I am a Facebook jail survivor myself. I used to be in there about every time I get out, I'd be back out on the run for about a week or so, and then they put me back in there again. Sorry, I had to answer that. But yeah, I know
I've had my Facebook page turned in for all kinds of crap, man. My
I'm talking
Instagram
personal.
account.
I've never had any problem on the redneck page that I started and just started, sharing stuff that I like, redneck hillbilly stuff, a little bit of political every now and then. And as of yesterday, 5,274 followers and fans of that Facebook group. And up until recently, all I did was just shared stuff until I started playing with RC cars, whenever I actually started interacting with the page,
See, I even got put on lockdown for sharing like creator content. It was crazy, man. My YouTube channel has been going on for, I think I've been working on my YouTube channel is almost 10 years old now.
Wow. Did you all use the Apple One or the Commodore 64 whenever you started?
Oh, the old Commodore 64. Yeah, man. But I mean, there was people that I helped in the YouTube community as well, when I started my page and just tried to share some of their content for them, just back and forth. And I've never seen so many people in my life take offense to so much shit. A bigger channel now that I used to actually converse like we're doing back and forth sometimes with, and I got all kinds of shit on my personal Facebook group, my personal Facebook page. I ended up having to go and actually create a creator's account because of the shit that come about from the issues that it was ridiculous. Just for sharing content that was shareable. That's why I'm careful what I share now. I usually message people and I'll ask them, "Hey man, can I share this on my page?" I'm not trying to take credit for anything.
Oh yeah.
But
see, that's my problem. I'll probably end up getting in trouble for that. I don't ask permission because the way I look at it is it's in a public space. I can share it as long as I'm not taking it and just copying the words or whatever and then using it under my name post, because when you share it, it's got their name and everything where it comes from. So I figured it'd be all right. But yeah, you're right. You can get in trouble. But hopefully now that he's back on the right side of the fence with the politics and taking away the fact checkers and giving us a new system of it.
Well, I hate to see, if somebody's trying to take credit for something they didn't do, I get the whole thing, you know what I mean? I just, if you post something on your creator's page and you make it shareable and it's something cool and you're just going in and sharing it, that other creator is not going to get any credit whatsoever either way because it's automatically coming from their page.
Right.
But yeah, I got in a
that's what I was meaning. Yeah.
I got in a huge rigmarole with one of the bigger YouTube channels. And it was somebody that asked me early on because I started and it all took place in a Charisma RC, manufacturing Facebook page is where they started at. And I found them in there because I dabbled in the Charisma stuff for just a short little bit. And
I got you.
Just tried to share some of their content because they kept asking about trying to get their YouTube channel to grow. And, Facebook is the easier way because I had I think 1,600 people, followers. And then, they didn't have that many. It's just crazy how that works. And then it's just all of a sudden I noticed even in the YouTube world, it kind of trickles down because there's people that I've helped, that were smaller than me at the time. And I've noticed I've tried to give them a hand up and then help them. And it's it's kind of a slap in the face. I see it as a little bit sometimes where it's they don't return the favor sometimes.
Right.
I guess the easiest.
And that's the thing. The favor should be returned, but you're like me as well, though. You don't do it for the recognition.
No.
But you do understand that. Hey, I helped you out. You can help me out, and wouldn't ask for the help, but understand that it is a slight toward you if they don't repay, you know. I mean, to me,
it's common courtesy to your
yeah,
fellow
it's called
man.
courtesy. It's called,
How I-
wait a minute, go back to that golden rule that RC Newfolk was talking about, you know, do unto others. And I gave you all the seed bearing plants in earth for you to use as meat. Wonder what he meant about that.
I mean, it's really just common courtesy, man, or just being a decent human being as I see it, you know. If somebody helps you out, you need to pay it forward. That's how I look at everything. I've had people help me out, when it comes time, you should help somebody else out and pay it forward. That's just how I look at things. But this hobby should be, back in the day, that kind of crap kind of killed, in my opinion. I used to be into big, the nitro racing and stuff like that. And a lot of that kind of attitude kind of helped kill off a lot of the nitro racing back in the day because guys just quit getting along. It was damaging to the hobby.
Or just everybody's was better than everybody else's and everybody just got the big head. And
I mean, it got to the point where guys were putting up curtains at the races, so you couldn't even see what they were doing in the pits. It's insane.
I would do something goofy like that anyway, just because I'd be messing with people. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even be doing nothing to my car or nothing, be acting like I was,
Well, if you have somebody new,
come in and watch. Yeah, you need help here. Come help me,
But I mean, dudes would just straight up, like, you can't even be in my pit area. You know what I mean? Like, it blows me away. Yeah. That's why I'm not a huge.
Oh, you're spying on me. Yeah.
That's why I don't get into the competition stuff that much because guys take stuff way too serious, man. Unless you're competition level where you're sponsored and you're getting paid, I can understand to a point. But if you're just out there trying to improve and get better, you should help one another out. That's just how
because you've helped me out. Like, whenever I've got something going through my brain that I've got something that I should be able to fix and my way's not working, two minds are better than one sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And if you're worried about somebody beating you because they're using your setup, well, that means that you need to get better at your setup or better doing what they're doing with the same setup,
Yeah, and sometimes in the racing world, man, sometimes it's just the driver.
John Mini Mechanics, we know you, don't we, Dungeon?
Oh yeah,
that John's Mini Mechanics feller, don't you? He's in that 304 group. He's got some pretty good videos there on the use of the tubes.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good YouTube, man. He's been covering a lot of that. What is it? FCX 10?
FCX stuff. Yeah, see, and that's something that I want to learn a little bit about because they're in between like a actual SCX 24 and a TRX 4M. They're sort of like a 18 scale, but they're a little bit different. Something, you know what I mean? And they got some pretty cool stuff. I mean, they got these little tiny trucks. It's got 2-speed transmissions in them, like them damn ones you run.
Listen, and I think FMS has done some really. Personally, I think they've done some really great stuff. It got some great stuff on the market. I wish they would, the Michigan and like their FJ Cruiser. I wish they would size it a little more. 110 size.
Right.
For the super scale guys, more what I'm into.
Oh yeah.
Because, dude, I mean, their Michigan is an amazing truck. Really, I mean, it really is like scale wise. But if they would just bring that down to like a 110 to, an actual 1-to-1 Jeep would be like, dude, they would kill RC 4-wheel drive scale wise if they do it.
Really?
Oh,
I hear you.
Undoubtedly.
Adam over at Reactive Train over across the pond, he does a lot of those too. He messes with pretty much all the tiny trucks, Oh, and you're welcome, John. Anytime, brother. Your RC family, just like the rest of these crazy sons of bitches in the chat too. Because I mean, they got to be crazy if they're in here hanging around with me and Dungeon. You know what I mean? Got to be a little bit of bubble off.
That's true. I'm about a bubble and a half.
Oh, well, you're doing good, bub. You're moving up. You went from 2 to 1, so 1.5. Hey, I hear you. I'll get
Until I
there
get
one
hit
day,
in the
bub.
head.
You know, I'm all the way like this. You know, I mean, I'm almost plumb instead of level.
Well, you see that hat sideways because that's
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
lopsided.
You need. Well, I mean, we're from West Virginia. You know, and we're born like that. We got one leg shorter than another one. All we have is heels. We ain't got no flat
You
land.
get some cardboard, bro, and stack in that boot.
See, I'm too heavy for cardboard. It just crushes down, and then it wrinkles up in my feet and just makes it feel funny. Guess I'm gonna have to make me one of them old peg leg type splint deals like they used to for the people with polio. You know what I mean? That shorter leg where it give you like that, had a little bit of a platform shoe. I feel like
Hey, I got one of those. You want to borrow?
there you go. I'll be John Travolta. Saturday Night Fever. You know,
You got to remind me about those parts too. I'll dig those out. Send me a reminder later tonight.
Right, I will. I got to show y'all something real quick and give a shout out to Pops Parker, who is Brian's dad, Bopper's dad. He drew this up for me because I am no good at drawing well uniformly. Okay, and I took the original and just traced over top of it and working on a logo. See what y'all think about it. And Bopper's the one that, matter of fact, that made the logo that I've been using on the channel lately. Just with an AI thing in like 10 minutes at one of our gigs one day when we were setting up while I was slaving over all them big old cables and stuff, setting up his stuff. He was playing on the computer with logos, you know, not doing his work. But no, seriously, that's just one of the renditions I'm working on, trying out. And
that looks good.
Yeah. Oh, the reason I got up was to give a shout out to Wild Carls RC on YouTube and Facebook. Guys, me and him got to talking in one of them damn groups, and he said, I was asking him about this 3D printed stuff, you know, scale stuff, and I'd asked him about RC transmitter, you know, for 1/10 scale. Ta-da. He said, I got a whole bunch of stuff. He said, I'm going to send you. You sound like you're, wait, Bopper, don't you? What? See how people do? They lie on me all the time. They want it. I work my butt off, sir. No, y'all, he ain't lying. He's telling y'all straight up truth. I work for about 45 minutes a night. That's about it. We're usually there from 4 to 6, 8 hours sometimes, you know. But hey,
fellas, can I chime in for a second?
He decided. What's that?
I was asking if I could chime in for a second.
Oh yeah, anytime, bro.
Oh yeah,
you're more than allowed
talking about helping people out and everything.
Yeah.
Earlier in the chat, Sabrina was, talking about trying to find an RC car and talking about how it sounds like they're a little expensive. I was wanting to chime in. That's a person we can help out right now. I don't know if any of y'all have like the cheaper RC cars, like getting some of the WL toys, like $70 or so.
I'm glad you brought that up because there's these old crazy sons of bitches named Jason's RC Garage and Jim Rockwolf Designs that come up with this project. It was a gateway project. And, they didn't want it to be just their project. They wanted it to go community-wide. And what they did was they would find people in need, like, say, somebody just lost their home in a hurricane or something, and they've been in the RC hobby for as long as Dungeon has, and lost everything. And didn't have any way. Huh?
Or a lipo fire.
Or a lipo fire, yeah. Y'all be careful. Make sure you store them things safely.
Safe.
So they started doing, they would have people would tell them, hey, man, this guy, just lost everything he had. So they would get in with the community and gather up parts. Somebody donate this, somebody donate that, or, or whatever. And be able to get that person back into the hobby because, a lot of us use this as a way to cope with what's going on in the real world, It gives us something
100%.
for us to use our brains on. I know me, you, and Alex use it to make the squishy stuff between the ears slow down, or actually speed up so it'll slow it down. If anybody has ADD, that'll make sense. Those of you that don't, try to figure that out because that's part of what's going on.
He's spot on. He's spot on with that.
You know, and that right there, or say there was a dad and his son wanted to get into RCs. Well, you know, dad has enough money to get the son one, but ain't nobody got enough to get 2 RCs at once, hardly, you know, and wants to be able to share that, share the hobby with his son. Maybe that person right there could be, you know, a recipient of a car, you know, and we don't ask for nothing for it. Just pay it forward if you ever can. If you can't, oh well. We're just trying to help people. They were just trying to help people get back into the hobby and be able to handle life, especially if something was bad going on. You know, be able to help them be able to cope, you know. And anybody's been in the RC community longer than probably 2 weeks, we all pretty much have parts laying around for something, you know. It may not be anybody able to help anytime at all until all of a sudden somebody needs that 88 turn axial SCX or AX24 stock motor or the stock AS1 servos, you know. Somebody might have been like me, knew what they were getting into somewhat into the hobby and bought the upgrades and just took the stock ones off and put them back, you know, not ever going to use them again.
But like how Sabrina was saying something about, you know, a little bit more on the budget side and stuff. I didn't know if any of y'all had a RC car on hand that was a little bit cheaper. Like, you know, I mean, I was going to show something like this.
Oh yeah,
and say that's about $120 rig if that's something affordable. These are fun, the little FCX 24Ms.
Yep.
And anybody that's interested in like 110 stuff, man, I just got rid of one. Those HB toys on like Ally Express, man. My buddy and I both had them. They're basically a TRX4, and they're like 130, 140 bucks shipped to you.
Yeah, right there before Christmas, you could have got a deadbolt or an AX24 for under $100.
Yep.
Hell, some of them. Remember one time Horizon had, I think it was the deadbolt on there for $69, or it might have been the base camp. That's good stuff, Alex. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's why I put you where you was. I knew you could be beneficial in more than one way, you know.
Red Cat had that killer sale there a while back, man. They were selling the Gen 9 for like, what was it, 160, 150 bucks or something?
Yeah, well, and then they had that new A18 Scout come out, and they're selling it for like $100 or something. Which, I'll tell you what, is in my opinion 10 times the truck that the original A18 was. And there isn't much difference. There is some, but there's not much difference. And I think it's actually making the suspension work because the body's a little bit heavier, so it's not as stiff of a suspension ride. And that's actually helped that truck out some. They lengthened it a little bit too, didn't they, Alex?
What's that?
On the Scout, it's a little bit longer than the regular A18, isn't it?
The wheelbase is the same. The rear of the frame has been extended to fit the body.
Okay. So what Chris did with my Gen 7 was he said he shortened the wheelbase up, which he didn't. He said he shortened the truck up, which he did frame-wise, but he didn't shorten the wheelbase up. He just got the frame ends off of it to make that hard body he had on it work. And it makes sense, you know, extending the weight past the shock point would make it have more weight on the back of it, you know, because anytime you got a fulcrum, you get better lift whenever you move the rock, you know. But it's the same frame it's the same truck basically other than that, and it's got a heavier body, right?
Yeah, the Scout's body's a little heavier on the rear of it. And as far as I know, they might have tweaked the electronics a little bit because I've heard a lot of people say the Scout is a little bit better on low end slow crawl taking off than the original Ascent 18.
Yeah, I've heard that the original Ascent 18 was just a little bit jumpy in between that very little bit of crawl to a little bit slower crawl. It just wanted to go gadget arm a little bit faster, you know. Yeah.
But I mean, that could be a byproduct of having just a little bit more weight on it too, though. How
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
seems like it reacts a little bit better.
And
So it's
that's
just
true
basically
for
a
it.
baby Gen 8 then, basically.
Yeah, that's basically what it
Yeah.
is.
I mean,
I
they're
have
the
a
same
video that proves the
way.
point he was just talking about. Matter of fact, whenever I put that bug out Betty body, that Volkswagen convertible bug body on PMAX, and was like, "Hey, why is this truck doing this? It shouldn't do this." You know, I kept sending everybody. There was a bunch of people in the chat that got sent it. I know I sent it to you too. I was like, "How is this working? It shouldn't. All the damn weight's on top of where the original body sat.
Yeah, that
It's
was
still
all.
working, you know." But I mean, it didn't work great, but it was doing so much better than it should have, in my opinion, from what I'd learned. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
usually the higher weight up top's usually a
right.
counterproductive.
And I mean, it actually helped. I mean, yes, it did make it want to come over on the side hills down a little bit longer, but you could see that the way that the truck was moving, that it was working better than it was with just that light body on it, the way I had the springs and stuff on it. So, but back to that giveaway deal. So everybody in the chat and everybody that watches here later on, if you know somebody that's been in the hobby, that's had a devastating blow to their whole life, and really needs something to help them get back to where they were, you know, back to the state of mind, maybe a little bit to where they were, to help them deal with what they're having to deal with, or somebody that's trying to get into the hobby with a kid or something. Y'all let any of us know. Let me or Dungeon or Alex or John's Mini Mechanics. He'd be willing to let us know how to get a hold of us. All my information, how to get a hold of me, is in the description of my page, except for my personal profile. But I'm easy to find. I mean, who's got stunning good looks like this? Ain't nobody looks as good. You know, I'm easy to find. But it's the same name, West Virginia Rednecks RS on TikTok. Well, was on TikTok. It'd be banned now. I didn't hardly ever use it. But on X, it's under my name. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram is WV Rednecks RS with the same logo up there for all three. So I'm easy to find on those channels. RC Dungeon, he's a hermit. He's got a channel, but he don't ever do nothing with it. He don't ever show nobody how to do nothing. Oh, by the way, all you 10 scale guys, go watch his insert mod with the damn foam darts. Hey, I give Endura hell on a lot of things. Well, not on a lot of things, but I give Endura hell about one of their electrical systems for our tiny trucks. But there are other things that I do like Endura has. And he figured out a way to make something that they have way better. And
Hey,
you really need to check it out.
I have a high dollar set of Three Brother inserts that were like $90 that I'd bought off of a friend used.
That's the reason I didn't get into 110s, because I can go buy inserts for 30 for 24.
Those Endura inserts, man, when you tune them, they don't break down because they're not 3D printed. They last forever.
Right.
They're way better. It's just a homemade tuning rod system is all I did. I copied Three Brothers because they have the tuning rods that go in the 3D inserts, and I just had some foam darts, and I was like, you know, it's all waterproof because there's
redneck engineering, son. Redneck engineering.
Yeah,
I mean, you're killing me.
And they're cheap. They're $15 for those Endura silicone inserts. Man, I ran a set for almost. Well, I got them when they first came out, man, and I couldn't tell you how many miles was on those. They've been in 3 trucks and a truck that weighs almost 12 pounds. And
now, is that the one that decided to leave the chat on that rock that day and rode down the hill, or was it? Are you talking about the other one?
No, nope. Those have been in. Oh my gosh, those inserts have been in the daughter's Gen 8 that weighs it weighs 11 pounds. They've been in my.
It's a scout body, ain't it? It's a scout body on her Gen 8, ain't it? Okay. I was making sure I remember what truck you was talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it kills me. I see guys blowing all that money. I got told that, the Endura inserts were, for poor people. in one of the Facebook groups, and I'm like,
oh, okay. So if you've got more money than everybody else and you can spend money on stuff, you're a way better person than anybody that figures out a way to do it on their own. You know, I know what you're saying there.
yeah, I don't.
Why you gotta be assholes? Why you gotta be a damn Corvette asshole or
well, the sad
you know
part
what I
is
mean?
it was in an Enjora group. It was an Enjora group. It was said, and I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. I mean, but
there's just sometimes that you can't try to be nice to them and lure them back into the fold. You just got to look at them and say, dude, you know, I've tried to help you. I've tried to explain to you what my reasoning is for this and why you shouldn't do it, but you keep pushing. So I guess you're understanding that you're going to get told you're a dumbass because I've tried to be nice. Now I'm tired of it. And I can understand that, you know, but don't just start being an asshole right off the bat.
unfortunately, 65% of the time, you know, I'm primarily in like a bunch of the scale stuff, and if you want to see some drama, go to these scale groups, man, because
oh, I'm in that
dudes
RC
think
four-wheel
they are
drive
the
group,
gods
and I
given
don't even know how I
RC.
got in it. I don't know how I got in that RC four-wheel drive group because I thought one of the questions on there, do you have an RC four-wheel drive or something? And I got in there somehow, and I've watched some people. I mean, just
It's terrible.
yeah. I mean, it's worse than the 24 scale groups.
It's
I'm not
bad,
going to
man.
mention any names, you know, because
No,
they don't have trouble like that other page or, you know, sorry, but yeah, I had to
put
say
them on blast on my YouTube channel because I don't care.
Oh yeah. You've seen. I've tagged you in the ones that I've done, and I've seen a few that you've done too. You know me. Hey, look there. There's that feller with that with the RC bikes, the RC bicycles. What's up, Jims? One, the one that was telling you about the wire on the wheel.
Yeah,
He was talking to that RC new feller.
He's
That's
awesome.
my brother from another mother there, man. But guys, I'll tell you what. That's what the podcast is going to be about. You're going to be having to deal with me and this ugly sucker here. You know, ain't everybody be as pretty as I am, I guess. I just got to quit.
I'm a little prettier because I shaved.
Yeah, well, dude, I need to, but mom, me and my mom's dog use the same clippers. Okay, well, mom's dog broke the clippers, and I haven't got any yet, so I got to get some. And I thought my boss was going to take me to a buddy of ours, barbershop there about a month and a half ago, but he must have slipped his mind. He's a little bit old too, so. Love you, Bopper. No, seriously, guys, that's what's going to be going on. And Dungeon has gladly accepted my proposal about helping me co-host the podcast. And Alex stepped in tonight because I didn't think about how I was doing this, how I would be able to let people know in the chat what was going on without having somebody in the background to tell them. So Alex was nice enough to step in and help me do that. And I appreciate all y'all for stopping by. And I ain't showing until it warms up. I hear you. Yeah, you did, brother. Bopper, I love you, man. And that, yeah, he got me this cool ass soundboard. And now, whenever I opened up this is all my Christmas present for my boss. You know what I mean? God love his heart. He's too good to me. But I opened up the bag, and the first thing I see, this right here. Now, if y'all have ever been around live music or anything, well, let me be great. PV equipment, one of the oldest, one of the best, good, decent pieces of equipment to use, you know, and they're not inexpensive. I seen a PV XLR mic, and I'm like, you in the wrong bag or something? Then I started, like, just go through and look. I said, okay, damn it. I look through there, and I pull this little yellow box out of there. World, and it's it. I'm high-tech redneck, y'all. I have my own soundboard. That awesome. Is a soundboard for streaming, just for this right here. And I looked on a little bit more, and there's another little box in there after I got passed off. Best damn Slim Jims on the market are Jack Link's hot, flaming hot Slim Jims, by the way. There were 3 of those in there, and they didn't last till the water got hot, y'all. I mean, oh my God. I hate them sons of bitches. Hell, he wasn't even backing out driveway yet, and I probably already had one of them down. But I get past him, and I see his little box, and I was starting to feel the vapors because I thought he was going to propose to me. You know, like little box. And it had 2 wireless mics in it, man. You know, I mean, and I done stole the daggone mic crane off of him. Week before that, you know, he had 2 of them, wasn't using them. So I said, here, I'm stealing this. Not really. He said, you need one? Here, you can have it. And he was setting me up for my Christmas present. You know what I mean? I was like, well, I ain't got a mic yet, you know? And he's like, oh, yeah, well, you'll get one. You know, you got it, but you don't have to have it right now. You're still sounding pretty good. Some bitch set me up, you know? I love family, you know? I mean, seriously, you know, I've got more family that is not blood related to me than I do family. You know, I got my kids. I got my mama. Got that old damn asshole dog down there. And I got grandkids, you know, and then I got Andrew and Bopper and Mike around here, pretty much around the house. About all I got. I mean, I got other friends too, but I got you, I got Alex, I got Skevy Skev, I got James, I got Jason, got Jim, got Dan, got Jim's bike garage, got Coffee Cup Greg, you know what I mean? Sabrina, she's been hanging around with us a little bit, so she's going to be part of the family too, you know. Eminem's kid, family crawlers. All these guys have been nothing but great to me and have become my family, you know. And whenever I say your family, you best damn mean it, because you show up at the house, say, I need this, that, and the other. I already got the shovel, and all we got to do is just cover them up, because I already got shovels here. I mean, holes here in West Virginia. They've mined the hell out of this place. It ain't hard to find coal.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, ain't no questions, you know. Now, I find out that there was something sketchy about it later on, me and you'll deal with that. If I have problems with it, you know, we'll deal with that. But, you know, I treat my family like I was taught. Family takes care of family. Family don't involve anybody else. But that was being said by someone who didn't believe what they taught. So, you know, it makes it hit even more home, you know, than... Because whatever you've been told all your life, family takes care of family. Family don't call the law, and then all of a sudden something didn't go right for that other person, and you're in front of a fucking judge and lost everything you've had. That's just showing you how to be a damn liar to me. So I've been taught all my life, you know. Family takes care of family. Family don't call the law. I take care of my family, you know, and those that I call family are meant. That's my family, and I will fight to the damn end for them, you know. And I'm the nicest guy in the world until you try to hurt my family or really piss me off. And you can ask Bopper. He's known me for a very long time. And I am a way nicer person and a way more chilled out person that I won't directly jump to being an asshole. You know, I'm good at it though. I mean, I'm really, really, really good at it whenever I need to be. But I'm trying to be better at being a better person and not jump down somebody's head real quick, you know. And I'm understanding.
I'm guilty of that sometimes myself. Sometimes,
well, man, I'm trying to grow as a person, you know, not just in my waist size, you know, as I've been doing lately. But
I feel that.
Don't look at the quick snap as if it's a problem, though, because some of the snowflakes of this world still need some of us that snap quick.
Well, yes, there's a time and a place for all of it, believe me. And I've been getting very, very, very good at interpreting said timing. Now, if it comes to something with a daggone intake on it, I used to, it was like, squirrel. But I'm no longer manipulated by intakes like I used to. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm blinded by the light. You know, but all right.
Hey, at least you got the setup there for a professional podcast. At least you got a nice setup going.
Well, did you like my undisclosed location?
I loved it.
It's a spare bedroom. Which
hey, when are you getting that building up? Speaking of that,
I'm sort of glad that I didn't have it up yet, but as much snow as we've got,
yeah,
and as quick of a time and as heavy as it was, I don't think I would have been able to have noticed it for one in time to have not lost the roof on it, because the snow we got down here was about 6 inches of good, heavy, wet snow. And then the next night, there was 4 more inches of heavy, wet snow. And then, you know, this isn't one of them good Amish built wooden sheds. It's one of them you get at Walmart, and they ship it to you in a box that's 6 feet by 4 feet by 4 inches tall, and it's a 10 by 12 shed, and it's got everything in it except for the floor.
Nice.
And a 3 inch, a 5-inch thick box, 4 foot wide, and 6 foot tall. I think is how big that box was, and it had the whole fucking shed in it. I'm like, okay. And I started dealing the stuff out and sorting it out, and I was like, by God, this thing will make a whole damn shed. You know, so it's one of them thin ones, but you know, I'll get it put together as soon as it warms up. The way I've got them
Maybe I can get
hands.
some of the 304 guys together, like in springtime or something, and come up. Some of those guys are into construction and stuff, and come up and help you get that put up.
I've got friends, and if Bopper wouldn't have tried to jump off the stage into the mosh pit at the local Nitro Moose on New Year's there a while back, he could have helped me. But Bopper's not a small feller either, and he jumped off a damn about 3.5 foot stage and landed and went into a catcher squat. And the sounds that his knees made whenever he got down into that catcher squat would have probably made us all puke.
Hey, Doug V, read his last 2 comments. He's giving you some pretty good praise there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When his mama passed away, we'd had a real bad snowstorm, and Bopper lives at the end of one of the roads. Well, you know where it's at, Dungeon, the road in between Cross Lanes and Sissonville. Over 622. Well, I live about 3 3/4 mile out it, and dude, I mean, this shit's pouring down the snow. And I had a snow blade, you know, plow on the front of my 4-wheeler, and I mean, it was cold. I rode that damn 4-wheeler right down the damn main road, son, all the way to Bopper's house, because I knew, because Pops, you know, he's not as agile as the rest of us spry young people, you know, and I didn't want him getting hurt, having to deal with going out there and even trying to shovel the snow, you know, and I made sure that they was able to get to the funeral and didn't have to worry about nothing, because that's how I feel. You know, I had to do it because there wasn't nobody else that could help him do it, and I didn't want to see them having to worry about that in that time, you know. And froze my ass off. By God, I got that damn driveway cleaned off pretty quick. That old 4-wheeler, man. And you know, I didn't have 4-wheel drive in that thing or nothing. I'd done tore the axle up in it. Oh, dude, but it was 500 Rubicon, you know, and I had that big, heavy damn blade on the front of it. I didn't need no 4-wheel drive.
No, probably not. No.
Yeah, I got it done. They got to the funeral and was able to give Mom her sending off without any hitches, and that's all that mattered, you know. Because
that's one thing I can say about most of West Virginia, man. We do help each other out. That's one thing I like about living here. Yeah,
that most of the people will help each other out, and it don't matter if you're on the wrong side of the tracks or what. You know, whenever it comes to bad situations as such, most West Virginians help each other, and that's like Jim's RC and them, you know, down there in Tennessee, and like Tony Murr, the South Carolina redneck, and them, you know, dealing with that hurricane and stuff.
That was awful.
A bunch of old boys from up here around where wasn't about pretty much from right there near you or a little bit south of you that all went down there and was opening up them roads for them boys and stuff and helping them people.
I had 2 friends that went from down below Dunbar and took a bunch of equipment down there, and they ran into some problems in some of the areas. They wanted them to leave their equipment for them to use, and I won't get into that, but it was it's actually a guy that does a pretty big podcast that he actually lives not too far down from where you're at. But him and a bunch of guys from a local church and a guy that owns a tree cutting service went down. That's
the ones I'm talking about. Yeah. They went down there and opened up those roads that was right there in the middle of that, all that mud flow and shit. He was down there for almost a month and a half working, wasn't he?
Yeah. He shut his company down to go down there.
Yeah, and I mean,
he took all of his equipment down.
Yeah. If there's been situations that, you know, we've had here of dealing with flooding, you know how it is. It's where I was flooded in. Our where I used to live, there was about 50 families that lived in a 3/4 of a mile by 3/4 of a mile area. That every time it flooded, we got flooded in from both ends, and you couldn't get out unless you had an ATV and had permission of people on the other side of the mountain to be able to go through their property on said ATV to get stuff. And me and my buddies, you know, we all went to school together. We was all a bunch of redneck hillbillies. We all had 4-wheelers and shit, and we also had a love for Budweiser. And we'd be making these runs, you know, B-double-E-double R-U-M, beer run. Well, people would see us going and be like, hey, can you get this and this? I mean, dude, we went on a 350 twin Banshee one time. Me and my buddy, my little brother from another mother, lives, as a matter of fact, it's Bopper's next door neighbor now, Frankie. We was on his 96 model 350 twin Banshee. And we was going right up the road there, well below where Bopper lives now, to the little store to get beer and to get cigarettes and to get food, because, you know, we've been stuck in for like seven days already. And I was about 325 pounds, and it wasn't my 4-wheeler, so of course I wasn't on the front of it. I was on the back of it. And Frankie, he's probably about 165. I mean, just solid rock muscle. You know, just got out of the damn army and shit. And we got going up a hill right there behind his mom and dad's house, and I'm on the back at Banshee. You know, it ain't got no weight in the front end of it all. We go up that little dip that's coming up from the other side, man. And I got, you know, them duffel bags, you know, you take to the gym, but a pretty good size one, you know, like if you was going to boxing class or something you'd have. Well, I had that sumbitch on my back with 4 cases of natural light, four cartons of cigarettes, and they had the end pockets too. I had two 2-liters shoved down in them. And I mean, I had this sumbitch all that tape up. Well, Frankie comes up and he goes around at the end of that holler, and he got that little jump up right there to go up it. Son, he went to go up it, and he just hit just a little bit too much gas as we was going up that little knoll. I reached up luckily and grabbed a hold of the handlebars and pulled myself up enough to where we went like this up till we got, I mean, we was Nat's ass from going back over, you know what I mean? Because I probably had 85 pounds worth of weight on my shoulders on a
every bit of
backpack, you know what I mean? So that shit's flopping around like that damn old BW body did on PMAX that time, you know? Throwing that weight distribution everywhere. But, you know, and it was cool. You know, the only stuff that we wanted was a few of the packs of cigarettes and one of the cases of beer. You know, everything else was for everybody else. I mean, you know, and these people that go out and hoard all the daggone toilet paper and bread and milk, I mean, what are they doing with the toilet paper? Is that what they're wrapping up their milk sandwiches with? Is the toilet paper, or is it a ingredient in the sandwich? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
That was some craziness, man. People panic so bad now.
Yeah, over all that stuff going on, and the worst thing is, boys, y'all wait till 3 days from now and see what's getting ready to hit. After old 46 leaves the old people's house up there, and 47 comes in, I'm afraid we're going to have some trouble. I really am.
I don't follow that stuff very closely, so I don't do it.
I normally don't either, but whenever you can watch someone speak and they truthfully don't know where they're at or what they're speaking about, and them sons of bitches have the fucking power to hit a button and just wipe something else off the map, they shouldn't be there. And the whole legacy media is, oh, well, he's fine. He's more spry than Jack and Joe Flag.
It's all bullshit, man. It's all bunch
I ain't saying that one going in is the all healing of everything, but at least if he's lying to you about it, he at least knows he's lying about it. He's not just reading it off a teleprompter, you know.
I don't know what to believe about any of that stuff anymore, man. There's so much craziness and shit.
And there's
you don't know what you can believe.
There's so many different things behind the scenes that's just making everybody do what they're doing now. Our government's just puppet system anyway. But other than that, I don't want to get demonetized, so I'm going to shut the fuck up about that. And guys,
let's turn this back to RC here.
Yeah. I know. I don't want to get on like I did the other night.
Direction in the safety.
Yeah. We come back to playing with tiny trucks and stuff. But that is one thing, guys, about my channel that you all will figure out. Don't bring you daggone little crotch trophies whenever I'm on the daggone on the interweb on the screen, because they're liable to hear some fucked up shit. I don't mean to. And everybody I let on my channel is a little bit fucked up in the head like me. So, you know, this is not a child friendly place. And make sure to, if you do share anything from my channel, make sure you give the people a heads up. You know, I mean, I'm not vulgar or nothing like that very often, but I will tell you the way it is. And there are curse words used and innuendos and any outdos. It don't matter.
Yeah, I try to put warnings on my videos if I know I'm going to be.
Oh yeah, well that's I've tried to do it, and I'm going to make sure to put in the description not kid friendly, because somehow I had a bunch of videos that came up that was yes, it was for kids, and I made sure that I didn't put it in there as such.
Yeah.
But they were a little bit older videos that, you know, I was trying to figure out why I couldn't find some of the stuff I was looking for.
YouTube removed 16 of my videos that I had.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that. We don't want to get talking about that T word.
No, it wasn't. It didn't even have anything to do with them.
All right, now
it was because the neighbor kids were running some of the trucks that I had back when my son was younger. When we had moved up here, and I had a bunch of some short course trucks, and we were just out running them. And it was when that crap hap hit on YouTube where they started making everybody where you had to go in there and select when you uploaded a video whether it was
kid friendly or not. Yeah,
right. And those videos never got, because they were old, and I never went back through them. Right. And they flagged them, but they were fining people like $12,000 or something like that per video.
Wow.
And wow. I just went through and I just told them to pull them. I wasn't even monetized or anything like that at that time, so I didn't think it was a big deal. I thought that was for the people that were monetized, but
right. But you got to come to find out if you put it out there, they can get retribution for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bopper, you're right. Alex is a great moderator, and he does know me pretty well, so he knows when to tell me to shut the fuck up and listen. That's why I knew that he would do good in the spot that he's at tonight, even though he'd never really done it before, but he's helped sort of do it on my lives and such before, because he sort of knows me pretty good. So Alex, yeah, Bopper said you're doing a great job moderating, keep me on track.
Well, for the most part, I'm usually the quiet guy.
Yeah, but that's good though, you know, and it's good that you are able to see whenever I'm going off rails a little bit, and being able to be blunt enough to be like, hey, stupid, shut the fuck up, but be nice enough to where I'm not taking an offense to it. But you know, you can tell me to do whatever anyway. I'm just gonna give you shit back. But you know, most people wouldn't understand, be like, hey, this is how it works with him. You got to tell him, because he gets on a tangent, he takes off, and you got to reel him back in there a little bit, you know. And the easiest way to do it is like, hey, dude, but you need to get back on track, because if you beat around the bush, all you gonna do is get a bunch of flies, because I ain't gonna pay attention to beating around the bush. Be a man, talk, you know. I don't get offended with straight communication. It's the beating around the bush part I don't like.
Hey, when you got ADD, brother, it's easy to get off track.
And they wonder, you know, they fill you up with a bunch of speed as a kid, and then, you know, you get older, well, they take the speed away from you, and you find it somewhere else, and then you come back and figure out that it was the speed that was helping, and you go back to the doctor and try to do it correctly, and they're like, no, you've had a problem before, you can't have this.
Hey, man, that's why I love the RC hobby, because it slows me down, makes me concentrate and think about shit.
See, it does me too sometimes, until, I mean, I've got to know when to do it and when to not. And that's whenever I was doing my leather work. That was a very good thing for me to do, because the leather work was repetitive, and you have to pay attention to what you're doing, or you're going to fuck it up. And I mean, not paid attention to what I was doing a lot of times, and I fucked up some pretty expensive shit that I had to come out of pocket for. So, you know, but there's points to the hobby to where I get too frustrated and I have to walk away.
I think that's
yes, I'm
everybody.
doing it to not get frustrated, but it's having these big old bull in a china shop sausages that
Tell me
want to
about
always
it.
work with them little itty bitty 1.4 millimeter nuts that come on the damn rear lower or rear upper rear links on the SCX 24, like on that damn four wheeler you got.
Oh, dude, that thing
the
killed
upper
me
link,
building.
not the ones that hook to the rear axle, but the ones that are right there. I got PMAX, dude. I didn't have them damn nuts on that thing from the time I got it because I was upgrading it. I knew I was going to buy it and go upgrade it. I lost them things. So that was part of the problem with PMAX for the longest time because I had baling wire through the damn holes holding the damn links on and shit.
That's man, the 24 stuff, man, is just almost impossible for me because I've got carpal tunnel so bad in my hands and stuff that my hands.
You know how you got that, don't you? You're probably lucky you ain't blind, old man.
Well, I am married, so.
Well, heck, that's what I'm even saying, you know. But no, I know exactly what you're saying, dude, because I broke this hand so many times back whenever Bob would play the wrong song and I'd have to hit somebody so that they didn't hit him. I'm having too much fun with this, guys. But yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. My hands are the same way. And it, my eyes are so bad that those little itty bitty nuts, there wasn't no way. If they hit the carpet, it's gone, son. You won't go find it.
No, that 24 stuff, man, is just so. Oh my heavens, dude! When I was building that little quad that I built,
and that reminds me. Whenever I remind you about the parts, remind me about the parts that I got to send your way.
I got I've got those dug out over here for you.
I've got a few other things that got sent to me today. There was one of them I thought of you about. I'll send you a couple of them.
Here's a little tip I'm going to share about these little 24s.
Yeah,
and especially with losing parts. I've found out that when you get screw kits, before you start messing with them, make sure they attach to these little magnetic trays really well.
Yeah. Because
those are the best little screws. If you drop them on the floor, take that same magnet, you can find them.
Oh yeah. But make sure that you're not getting the ones that have that junk metal in them, because Ramp Crab had a set that I'd gotten that they weren't even magnetic, but they weren't aluminum, and they were real easy to strip. And then I got another set from them, and it said upgraded steel or something, and they were good. They were magnetic, and they didn't strip as bad. Also, with those 24 scale, make sure if you are getting something like a servo and it comes with a mount, make sure you use supplied hardware with that mount, because a lot of times the stock stuff is the wrong thread. And coming up to about the stuff with the mofo stuff, luckily I'd paid attention and remembered whenever I watched Nick talking about those X15s and how to install them, to make sure that you use their hardware, because you will break your hardware.
That right there, talking about using their supplied hardware.
Yeah.
If their supplied hardware does not attach to that magnetic tray very well, spend the extra $2 on a freaking another screw kit that is a little bit better material. Because that will always help out with trying to find all the lost crap.
Yeah, make sure it has the same type of threads too, because that's the problem. Another reason that PMAX had stuff wired on her, because I didn't pay attention to that one time whenever I bought another servo and went to use screws, and it popped right there in that back servo mount on her four-wheel steer. It's got the two holes. Well, it broke off in between the two holes. I'd run a longer one because I was wanting to do link on each side instead of putting them in the middle like a Y link would be. And it broke both ends of it off, and I had to wire the damn links to that because I couldn't get the screw out.
So I take it like the 124 stuff's not like a standard, like the 110 mainly uses like a 2 mil, a 2.5, and like
no, they are. But the thing is, there's different thread pitches and counts to those sizes, just like there is national fine, national coarse, metric, on all the bigger bolts and stuff. There are different pitch and
most of your 110 scale is not like that. Most of them,
the M2 and the M3 or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the 1.4s, and whatever the other size is. They do have different pitch and thread count, so it will be different. If you're not careful, you can screw up and start breaking shit real easy.
I haven't found very many different pitches of thread, but what I have noticed, the cheaper metal and the cheaper products that don't give a crap about their quality control,
Right.
it's almost like when they thread the screw, they're feeding the shaft of the screw through too quick, and it changes that pitch just that little bit to screw the whole thing up.
Yep. But
what I did was I bought some when I was building mine. I ended up going through and tapping out some of the parts on that ATV with like a 1 millimeter tap.
Yeah.
And then I upgraded the hardware on that ATV to like your standard like 155. A lot of your 155 scale wheels will have a 1 or 1.5 just metric screw that goes in it, and I would tap it, and then that way I could just use a little better of a hardware, like to for my that's how I did mine, just because I could use a standard driver, because that 24 had all them weird small whatever.
And the thing is, there's a lot of companies that they're using the same size screws, but they do have different thread types, like metric or national fine, which is imperial system. There are some of the parts that are made here in the States that they're not using the metric as why. And I hate to really talk bad about a company, but Ramp Crab especially has a totally different, I mean, it's the same size, but it's nowhere near the same type.
Well, none of my drivers would fit the 24 stuff because it was so. I'm talking about the actual like hex size itself would be.
Oh, the 0.05.
Yeah, like the 0.05. So I just stepped up to like a 1 millimeter, because it was the same thread pitch and the same size, hardware. It just had a different head on it. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
that's actually something good to do too. Is do something like that. But that little mushroom head, you just got to make sure that mushroom head is sometimes not just that little too big for tight areas.
Yeah. And something else, whenever you do mess with 24 scales, buy good tools that have good connection in. There isn't a lot of tolerances with better made tools than there are some of the cheaper Amazon ones. There'll be a lot of slop with the Amazon tool, but you go to put a snap-on tool in there and it fits good, It's like finding a good old lady. It wouldn't just fit right,
I need a good 24 scale tool set because I want one of those HDIs.
I'll go ahead and tell you, Mofo RC, they've got great quality little tool sets. They're not really expensive. That's the thing that Nick's done over there. Mofo wants to give a good, upgradable quality part for people that have a little bit lesser of a budget. He wants
that's
to be able to
112 scale, but it's got a lot of the same hardware in it as like the 24th has.
Yeah, the 1.5 and the 0.5 and stuff. Yeah.
So that's, which that's probably going to go down the road probably pretty soon anyways in the giveaway on the channel. But
right. Speaking of giveaways, I got gifted. You're gonna laugh at. You're gonna like this, Dungeon. I got gifted a month subscription. Wait for it. Drum roll, please. To Crawler Canyon.
Oh wow!
For a month subscription to his channel, to be a member.
Look,
I have those. Those work really well.
Yeah. Here's what I'm talking about, though. Like, you see that little tiny screw right here holding on real nice?
Yeah.
Watch this little fucker. It just basically falls off the damn tray.
China metal.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the one thing I have noticed, I don't know if you can see that good screw has no ridges on the outside of that, head.
Outside the head.
Yeah.
But that little crap one
Yep,
is nothing but ridges. Every screw I have that has ridges,
yeah.
I do not use because they don't hold worth a crap.
Good micrometer to that.
I
To the
ran
one
into
with
that
the
in 10 scale stuff
ridges.
too.
They're not exactly the same size at all. Than what they're supposed to be. Good night, Bopper. Thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, I had the one cheap the hardware that comes on some of those China wheels that have those ridges around the head. You got to be real careful because you can shear the heads off of those.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, flicker a minute dick on Sunday, son. Just pop,
Yeah,
pop.
it's like a soft, cheap stainless.
Yeah, yeah. And John's mini mechanic. You're right, buddy. I'll tell you what, Nick and Mike and them over Mofo, they are there to help the community get a quality product and not have to mess with it and be able to help anybody they can.
That power wagon right here was my first build.
Yeah.
And look, you could see I have one screw, the head snapped off, and that's whenever I was using the screws with the ridges.
Me and you was matter of fact, wasn't you on my live, or me and you was video chatting or something whenever you did that, wasn't we?
Yeah.
Or we was talking about it or something. I remember talking about it. He's like, yeah, because I got this one. I'm just going to leave it until I have to get it out.
I've even ran into like some of the trio wheels for like the 155s. Even some of the hardware that comes in those like name brand, some of those screws are the same way. They'll snap off with just a little bit of torque put on them.
And that's why, because there is a difference in the
you can unsolo me.
And iron.
It's like ribbed. I finally see a comment. It's like ribbed.
Yeah.
Not for your pleasure.
It could be. But
yeah, that's the biggest issue I've ever run across with the screw.
That's what I was meaning about
just that one little trick of having them attached to a magnet real well has helped out with not stripping as often, the head's not breaking off, and being able to find them when you lose them.
Yep. And the good thing about it is, if you get a good quality tool, they don't wear out on the structure that actually gets the torque part put to them. You know, if it's got good metal, some of the cheaper ones, that's where they wear out first, because that's the part that's getting the most torque put to it. You know, and paying a little bit more for quality tools is always a better option. Now, I'm a Harbor Freight lover, okay, but I won't usually buy a Harbor Freight battery electronic tool. I will step up and buy a Milwaukee or a DeWalt or something other than what Harbor Freight had. Now, that being said, that new Bear line that they've got out is a pretty good set of tools. They're pretty torquey, and they don't have a bad battery life either.
No, I have the 4.5-inch angle grinder, and I cut a set of Jeep floorboards out to weld in a new floor pan
with a battery powered one.
Sure did. Ripped
now
right through it.
The multi-tool that they sell, you know, the little oscillating multi-tool, I do and will always tell you to, if you're getting the Chicago tool one or whichever one it is, the Hypertub, whatever brand that Harbor Freight sells, don't get the battery pack one, because it has like a quarter of the torque and power of the corded model, and you wouldn't get through a quarter panel on a Chevy truck without the battery running down. And I mean, just get through it. I'm not talking cut it out.
You mean they're like the Chicago Electric or whatever, right?
Well, I think he's talking about their lineup, Pittsburgh Pro.
Yeah, that's it. It's the Pittsburgh Pro, because it's not the Chicago Electric one. The Chicago Electric corded one is great. The corded one.
I have their Bear, however you say it.
Yeah.
But I have two batteries. We cut completely from.
That's awesome. Yeah, but
all the way from the front, all the way to the back.
That oscillating tool.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the Bauer stuff over there.
The
Bauer stuff. about 65 to 75% of it is really good, but there is a couple of tools with Bauer you definitely want to stay away from.
I have their Impact. I wouldn't buy another one of their 1/2-inch drive Impact, but I have an actual Cobalt 1/2-inch drive Impact, and that thing hit so hard. We were in a junkyard taking leaf spring perches off a YJ, and it hit so hard that the rust heated up and actually welded the nut to the U-bolt on that YJ, that Dana rear end.
Damn. Yeah.
It had so much hit that, and it's just a cheap 1/2-inch drive. It's their, I can't remember what the volt is on that one. But man, that damn Cobalt, I love that thing, man.
Yeah.
It'll either weld it to it or it'll snap it off.
Right. Well, guys, hey, I've got to get a jump off here because where I'm using my undisclosed location is right beside Mom's bedroom, and you all know me. I'm loud. I'm going to jump off here. I want to thank everybody that's came and thank everybody that's going to watch because hopefully it's going to be a good one. I think we did pretty good. How did you like my acting job? Did you like it? Did it do good?
I thought it was hilarious.
Hey, I'll be on the big screen one day, folks. You will watch and see. That's just only because I got my camera hooked up to a plasma somewhere or something. But guys, everybody, thanks for coming and hanging out and supporting my page and helping me get out what I'm wanting to try to do with what I'm doing with my content creation. Sabrina, thank you. You're one of the ones that shouldn't even be here, just lucked into getting to meet my lovely butt. And thank you for hanging around after meeting me. But guys, y'all be good. And peace out, Girl Scouts. Y'all keep them straight out there. And remember to keep everybody in your thoughts for the giveaway for this channel, to help somebody out that could use it. And please like, share, subscribe. Hit the ding-lingy thing if you would. Not my ding-lingy thing because I wouldn't like it. I'd hit the ding-lingy thing.
He'd like it. Don't let him lie.
That's from my OnlyFans page, Sabrina. I caught that a while ago. I just didn't let on to it, Sabrina. Y'all be good. Keep straight out there. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Yep.
All right. Y'all have a good night.